Hi guys, I'm LunaLunestia and I am a freelance fantasy artist who's been doing art commissions for about 5 years. And during my time, I had been able to gain experience as a commission artist and entrepreneur on how to manage with bad clients. And during my years, I've learned how to stay professional and be sure not to take anything personally when it comes to these experiences. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to deal with a bad client, provided by my amazing patrons on Patreon. With your support, it helps me continue my work and share my knowledge in the arts with you. In this video, I'll be talking about the types of bad clients, how to stay professional, and when you need to stand your ground. This video would have been made thanks to my amazing patrons here on Patreon. And by supporting me on Patreon, you'll be able to get % off discounts on art commissions, high-res illustrations, coloring pages, and more. So before we start, I want to say thank you to my awesome patrons for voting on this month's video topic, Kyo Higata and Stick Page. So let's get onwards to the show. Types of bad clients. Not all types are listed below. However, if you think there's more than what I've listed before, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear what you think or what else could be considered a bad client. And if you want to share your experiences, feel free. So, number 1, scammers. Pretty self-explanatory. These are just people who don't want to send you your payment and try to get free work off of you. Many other types in this category will usually be associated with being this type of scammer. Next is the ghost, or people who just tend to ghost you or whatever. And it's, as I said before, people who have taken interest in your work but ends up ghosting you on any payment or updates regarding to work. You end up looking for them, you can't find them or contact them, and you're kind of left with a dead project. There's a lot of puns on that one, but let's go on and continue forward. The third one is actually the creepers. Yes, that's a bad client, and no, it doesn't have to do anything related to Minecraft, in case some of my friends decide to joke on that. But basically, the creepers are people who make you uncomfortable with what they want from you despite your terms of service and your personal preferences. They won't change artists or drop projects with you, and in the worst case scenario, they tend to harass or threaten you. Worst case scenario. Next, you have the rude and impatient clients. They are the people who complain about your price rates with an attitude. They'll want to rush you to finish their commissions with an unrealistic expectation. People who think art is something that you could do within 3 hours, like finishing a full illustration, a full painting within 3 hours. Reality, artwork, when you work on artwork, it doesn't work that way. It could take weeks. And if you're a fast artist, maybe just 1 week at the latest. But if you're one of those super, super fast artists, wow, I'm actually really surprised. And back to the subject. With these rude and impatient clients, they tend to give quite snarky or nasty remarks about your work and even your individuality when they don't want to pay or do not understand that art takes time to finish according to every artist's terms of service. Next are the manipulators, people who make you feel bad about your prices. They tend to play victim, doesn't want to play the full price like the scammers, the people who ghost you, and the switcheroos. They try to make up a fake story to make you have empathy for them so they could get free work from you. Next is switcheroos, which is actually suggested by my friend T Crumpet. And how she described it is that switcheroos are people who keep changing the main idea of the project in mid-work for a low price, or drawing what you're not comfortable with without paying you extra for adding more to the work or changing the entire work in general. And it all goes down according to your terms of service. Now that we covered all the different types of bad clients that I have listed, and again, if you guys think there's more other types, feel free to comment down below. Here's some story time that I have experienced when I just started out with commissions. And when I started commissions, it was back in 2016. I was still a college student, and we're gonna be talking about the guy named Bob. And we're calling him Bob for now. And basically, what Bob wanted to do was the moment he found out I was opening up commissions for the very first time, he went right on board and decided, hey, I want to commission you a whole bunch of artwork during finals week, and you need to finish this artwork first over your grades. So, of course, me being the young commission artist who's quite new to the field, I was very happy that I was going to be getting commissioned, like very inexperienced back in the day. So eventually he ghosted me, and luckily for me, Bob was my classmate. He was in the same class as me, so I had to tell him, hey, what's up with this commission stuff? And he would always give me quite a lot of excuses and want me to change up the illustration or add more work, and also continuously rush me to finish the project and prioritize the project over my grades when it was finals week and in college. So eventually I learned how to correctly price my work, and I went to tell him the price. And before I even did that, I had to explain to an experienced artist about my situation, and he taught me the basics of being a commissioned artist. This is stuff that I've learned and soon experienced that I hope one day to teach you all someday. That alone is quite an expansive subject, which I'm going to save for another video if it's voted upon. I do look forward to actually making this video the most. And because I was just starting out, I was underpricing myself, and I learned how to properly set my prices fairly and accordingly, as art is a luxury. From what I learned, the real price had ranged from $500 to $1,000 for the amount of the work Bob was asking for, and within that small time frame of wanting to prioritize the work over my finals. So eventually I confronted Bob and I told him what the price would be, only for him to look at me and laugh. He told me that he was only going to pay me $5 for everything, including the rush deadline during the finals week. And to add salt to the wound, he told me that he was going to find someone cheaper. The story of Bob falls under the types of bad clients being, and as I mentioned before, which will be quite common, the scammer, along with the ghost and rude and impatient. Next is story time number 2. The second story takes place a year after I started commissions, and I was on the site of DeviantArt. And back in the day, an artist friend of mine was trying to help me get more clients, so he recommended me to his own as well. Unfortunately, the work that he did wasn't what I drew, and his clients were into what he draws. And it's stuff that I wasn't interested or comfortable with. So I had a client through him, and we're going to call him Jerry. And he had multiple red flags. Red flag number 1. Jerry at first commissioned me for a sketch, and he was going to pay me after the project was done. As a commissioned artist, you should never do this. Let the client pay you up front first before you start. Red flag number 2. What interested Jerry was stuff I was personally not comfortable with, and this was the way before I created a terms of service. I was still new to the art commission world, and I didn't know about the terms of service and agreement that would be signed between client and worker. Eventually, he ended up scamming me by taking the work and running without paying. Scammer! The next time Jerry returned, it was much worse, to where I emphasized the creeper category. The guy wanted fetish art of me, and I would not take, and I just I still get chills, so I'm gonna just repeat this. He wanted fetish art of me, and he wouldn't take no for an answer. And professionally, staying as professional as I can, I told him to find another artist and to no longer do business with me. However, it did come to a point where I had to stand my ground from this guy who not only scammed me but was throwing out some huge red flags for me while still staying in that professional mindset. Luckily enough, he stopped pursuing the interest. However, it did leave off with a very creepy and sexist comment in return, to which I instantly blocked him and afterwards made a terms of service to protect myself. Jerry was not just a scammer, but a creeper. And I was fortunate enough that he wasn't too big of a deal that I didn't have to spread awareness about him to warn other women artists. And this is where I've learned throughout my years is how to stay professional. And as I mentioned before, during these scenarios with bad clients, you have to stay professional. When money is involved, it's a whole different ballgame. You have to stay polite, but firm and serious. Business-wise, this is to make sure you get your money's worth and not be scammed by bad clients. Have a terms of service ready for your clients to read and agree to your terms. And what you paid to work with, unless extra was paid for, more work. When you have a bad client, you have the right to deny them service. No one deserves to be treated unfairly and scammed. And especially if the client is very rude towards you. Or a creep. Yeah. Then you'll be able to move on to the next client and hopefully they'll be a nice person, which they usually are, but there are still some clients that's going to try to take advantage to get work for free. In severe cases, you can block the clients online. In extreme forms, such as threats and or harassment, you can spread awareness of an abusive client towards you as an individual. But not towards the ones where they just give a simple tantrum because they can't get it in their way. And always remember not to take anything personally from what had happened with a bad client to rattle you. Remember your self-worth and remember your rights. To conclude, we got the types of bad clients, which are the scammers. That's usually number one, and all the others fall down to it. Scammers, the ghosts, the rude and impatient folk, creepers, the manipulators, and the switcheroos. As for the rest of the bad clients that I've listed, I haven't experienced those types before, and I hope I never do. And that makes me very grateful that I have such wonderful and understanding clients. If you have commissioned me before and we worked well together, thank you so much for being an amazing person. And remember guys, when you're doing commission art, always stay professional and don't let these negative experiences with bad clients shake you. Keep moving forward in your artistic career and I wish you the best of luck. And I want to thank my patrons for helping me create this video, making this video possible. Kyo Higata and Stick Page, and also to my friend T Crumpet for helping me with some more ideas on what else would be considered a bad client. If you wish to get rewards on my Patreon, come and support me on there for high resolution illustrations, coloring pages. You also get a % off on commission discounts. And let's see what else. Plenty more, that's for sure. I don't have a list right now, but I got a lot more to offer on my Patreon, which you'll find on my tiers, which is all dragon based. Thank you guys so much again for joining my for watching my video, and until next time, bye.